Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
All right, so as I said, we're gonna start seated today. If you have any special requests, you're welcome to pop them in the chat. I'll keep an eye on it. But as you know, I always do just a little bit of everything, just kind of rinse out the body. But we'll come into a comfortable seated position. You can sit on a blanket or a bolster or a pillow to elevate the hips. If it feels okay, you can cross the legs, or you can always have the legs out in front of you. And then maybe just kind of taking the first few moments to wiggle around, kind of just starting to check in and tune in with the body this morning. Your hands can rest wherever's comfortable, so maybe they sit on the knees, maybe they come out by the side, add a little extra gentle support. You are welcome to close your eyes or just soften through the gaze. And start to find even just a little bit of stillness here. Start to relax the shoulders away from the ears. Softening through the muscles of the face. Releasing the jaw. And just noticing the parts of your body that are connected to the floor. And just really checking in and tuning in with the body, just observing how it's feeling. Noticing any places of tightness or tension, or even really open. Just bringing awareness and noticing those places, taking away any judgment, inviting in some kindness. Just start to feel your breath move throughout your body. Feeling the inhales come in through the nose. And exhale to let the air go all the way out. Maybe even making a noise as you sigh it out. Taking a couple more full rounds of breath like that. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed or gaze soft, keeping the focus on your breath. So I'm just inviting that awareness of the breath into our movement today. Trying to make it more intentional than your day-to-day walking around. Just feeling the air consistently come in and letting go. If the noise to let it go continues to feel good, stick with it. And just start to gently roll the shoulders back. So feel like you're trying to shrug them up to your ears and then relax them away, just taking them in a circular motion. And then just go ahead and reverse the direction. So roll them the other way. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It's okay if it's a little crinkly crackly. As long as it's not painful, it's fine. And then let the shoulders release away from the ears. And I want you to feel that broadening across the chest. So feel as if you're trying to expand the collarbone, keeping a little intention through the shoulders, and then just let the head get heavy. Let the chin fall to the chest. And maybe even just for a moment, notice letting the shoulders round a little bit while you're still letting the chin fall to the chest. It might get a little heavier. You feel a little bit more rounding through the spine. But then kind of create that opposite action as if you're trying to broaden through the chest, and notice that you're going to create even just the tiniest bit of resistance. So I want you to keep this lengthening through the spine and then just gently start to rock the head from side to side, finding little half circles. You're not trying to move fast. Just kind of checking in with the tiny muscles of the neck that hold your head up. And then the next time the right ear finds the right shoulder, pause. Keeping your nose pointing forward. You don't really need to add any resistance here. Gravity is gonna kind of do its thing. My neck's super tight this morning, so I definitely feel this, even though it's not going too far. And you're welcome to keep the nose forward or bring your nose towards the right knee. So you're just changing the positioning of the neck, just moving to a little different muscle on the side and back of the neck. It's just an option. If you come into it and it's not feeling okay in your body, just bring yourself back. Just take one more breath here. And then allow the chin to roll back towards the center of the chest and let the left ear come to the left shoulder. So just pausing on the other side. Always coming back to your breath. Always moving with intention. That's more important than the alignment of the pose. If you'd like, maybe bring your nose and point it towards your left knee. So just finding a different spot on the neck. And even this gentle neck stretch here is great to take throughout your day. Sitting at the computer, just walking around. And then let the chin come back to the center of the chest. And then gently lift your head up. So just take your hands behind you and extend your legs out in front of you. Now they can be straight or you can keep the feet towards the floor. And just start to find like a little windshield wiper if the knees are bent, or if you keep the legs straight, you'll just windshield wiper with the feet. We'll come back into that cross-legged position, but I don't want to get kind of stuck in one place without wiggling it out. So when you feel okay, come back to that cross-legged position and let's reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Let's stretch through the side body. And then bring your right hand towards the floor by your right hip and stretch and reach through the left arm. So as you stretch and reach through the left arm, feel your left hip pressing down. So you are just creating a little bit of resistance, a little bit of grounding through the hip. Come all the way back up and then switch sides. So bring your left hand to the ground towards your left hip and reach your right arm up overhead. And then feel your right hip press down, creating that grounding sensation. Come all the way back up and start to reach your hands forward. So it doesn't matter how far forward they go. I want you to feel a rounding through the spine. Let the head get heavy. Really feeling that fold. And just feel some grounding through your sit bones. So if your sit bones start to come with you into that fold, just take a tiny step back and refine that grounding. It doesn't matter how far you go. Especially first thing in the morning, if you just woke up, you might be a little bit more crackly or achy than usual. I know my back is always super achy when I wake up. So I always just make sure I'm moving mindfully and gently when I first start to move in the morning. And just walk your hands in. Take your hands behind you once again. Extend your legs out in front of you. And I want you to switch the cross of the legs. So most likely if you're right-handed, you have your right shin in front. So I want you to bring your left shin in front. So basically go for that uncomfortable cross. You'll be able to find it very quickly, I promise. And then reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Before we come into the fold, let's take a twist. So twist over to the right, bringing your left hand towards your left knee and your right hand behind you like a kickstand. Focus on that lengthening through the spine. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky and take your twist the other way. Right hand to left knee. Continue to lengthen through the spine. Come all the way back to the middle, and let's come into that fold again. So bring your hands towards the ground. Walk your hands forward as you round the spine. Continue to find the rooting in your sit bones. Your sides will feel a little different, even though it was really just a pretty subtle change with just switching the legs. Walk your hands all the way in. Extend your legs out, just kind of shake them out. We'll start to change direction and come onto our hands and our knees. So if you need a little extra padding underneath the knees, be sure to grab a blanket, or you can take like a couch pillow. If you don't have anything nearby, you can always roll up the edges of your mat to just kind of double your mat to create a little extra support there. So when you come into your hands and your knees, let's just start to move the spine. So start to drop the belly button towards the floor. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze together. Look forward. And then around the spine and press the floor away. Feel the shoulder blades pull apart. Drop the head. And drop the belly. Look forward. And then around the spine, press the floor away. Let's do one more like that. Drop the belly, look forward. And around the spine, press the floor away. Come back into a neutral spine, and then just start to take some circles with the hips. So start to press the hips towards the heels and then all the way to the left and forward. So you're moving the hips, but you're also getting a little rotation through the wrists. You can always adjust the hands if it's too much pressure anywhere. And let's reverse direction. So whichever way you were circling, just pause and go the other way. One more circle. Then pausing back in your tabletop position. Let's begin to curl your toes under and start to press your hips up and back into your downward dog. So when you first get there, pedal out the feet, walk your dog a little bit. And you can drop your knees to the ground and bring your right foot forward. So you can walk your hands up the thigh. And just start to kind of rock in and out. So finding a little bit more of a dynamic movement here. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Stretch them nice and tall. Really press down through your foot, down through the back shin. Bring your hands hands towards the floor. And then walk your right foot towards the right edge of your mat. So you can bring your right hand in on the inside of the foot and the knee. And allow the hips to get a little heavier. And you can even straighten the front leg a little bit and then back into it. You can use like a pillow or a book or a block underneath your hands for a little added height. Make your arms longer. And then just continue to allow the knees to get a little heavy. So taking a little bit of pressure off of the back knee. So like you're trying to shift more towards the top of the knee. Lift yourself back a little bit just so you've got good stability to bring your right knee back to meet your left. Curl your toes under and come into your downward dog. You can drop your knees to the floor so you can step your left foot forward. It doesn't have to be in one swoop. It can be in 100 or somewhere in between. Walk your hands up. You can rock in and out. Just always going into the movement really gently, being really kind to your body. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Really press it down into the floor for stability and support. Bring your hands towards the floor. Walk your left foot towards the left edge of your mat so you can bring your left hand on the inside of the foot. And then just kind of move around to get yourself into it. So maybe you're straightening and bending the front leg a couple times. Still being really kind as you move. Adding whatever you need underneath your hands to make your arms longer. And even if it's too much to fold forward, you can always keep your hands on your front thigh. You don't have to come all the way down. Allow the hips to get a little heavier here. So even if your hands are on your thigh, focus on that sinking sensation, trying to shift the weight a little bit more towards the top of the knee. Pull yourself back just a little bit so you have good support to bring your left knee to meet your right. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up and back to your down dog. You can continue to walk your dog or be still. So again, you can drop your knees to the floor, step your right foot forward. I'm just gonna move my hammer chair back a smidge. I'm still here, don't worry. But this time, once you step the foot forward, I want you to reach the arms all the way up to the sky, curl the back toes under, really press into the ball of the back foot, even if it's not touching the floor, mine's not. And then keep that stability, keep that rooting, and let your right hand come towards your right side. So I'll just turn so you can see. So let your right hand just drop to your right side. It doesn't have to touch the floor. My arm doesn't. Your arm's likely not long enough, and that's fine. But really just focusing on that stretch through the left side body. Bring your hands to the floor. So this time with those back toes curled under, lift your knee away from the floor just so you can step forward. So I want you to find a forward fold this time. So that forward fold might have a huge bend into your knees. The crown of your head might reach the floor. Or you might have your hands on your thighs and kind of feel the heart reach a little forward. Wherever you're at is perfect. Really find that rooting in the feet. That's the most important part here. Think of your foot as a tripod with the ball of your foot, the root of your big toe, the root of your pinky toe, and your heel. That's your tripod. That's your stability in each foot. Press into that tripod and rise all the way up to stand. Stretch the arms all the way up to the sky. Let your hands come down by your side. So you can use a wall or a chair or something beside you. But I want you to root into that tripod of your right foot and lift your left foot off of the floor. But let the heel start to come towards the butt. So you see shadows, I don't know how well. Yeah, there we go. So you can flex the foot. So that's gonna help engage and activate the muscles in the back of the leg. Try to keep the knees in line and squeezing the knees towards each other. Nice activation through your midline. Just one more breath here. And then release the foot to the floor. So we will come into the other side, but not yet. So I won't forget, I promise. So you're gonna keep your feet about inner hip width apart. Again, find that tripod. You can keep your hands at your heart center at their hips and just start to sink your hips low like you're sitting into a chair behind you. It doesn't matter how deep you go. But really imagine that there's a chair, so you have to press the hips back and not just bend into the knees. So really feeling the booty press back. Hands at heart is a perfect place to focus on some balance and stability. Maybe even sink your hips a little bit lower. Find that chair a little bit closer. Press into your feet, straighten the legs, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Let's take a side lean over to the right. Come back to the middle and over to the left. Come back to the middle and fold all the way forward. So again, that fold can be hands towards the floor and dangle, or hands to your thighs. And start to bring yourself all the way back to the floor, coming into your hands and your knees, and then sinking your hips back into a child's pose. So it doesn't matter how deep your child's pose is. Doesn't matter where your knees are, if they're close together or far apart. Two more rounds of breath here. just taking a pause. I know that your pause can be anywhere. You don't have to stay in child's pose. You can sit. You can find something else that might better suit your body this morning. And then start to make your way back to your downward dog. So know that that downward dog can always just be a tabletop position. You can walk your dog or be still. Again, you'll step your left foot forward. So we're moving to the other side. Curling your back toes under, if that feels okay. If it doesn't, just ignore me and do what feels good. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. So this time you'll let your left hand come by your left hip and reach through the right side. So find the grounding in the right knee. Reach your arms all the way back to the sky. Bring your hands towards the floor. Doesn't matter if they touch. We'll come into a forward fold, any version. So it doesn't matter how you get there. Your hands can be on your thighs or the crown of the head can reach towards the floor. Press through the tripods of the feet. And rise all the way up to stand. You can reach your arms up high. It's nice to stretch a little bit when you get there. And this time you'll shift the weight into the left foot. Find whatever you need for balance support and let your right heel come to your butt. Don't forget about your breath. Last breath. And release the foot to the floor. We'll find that chair pose one more time. So find that nice rooting through the feet. It doesn't matter where your hands are. Just bend into your knees and press your hips back like you're trying to find your chair behind you. Really pressing down through your feet, feeling everything hug to your midline for stability and support. Maybe your hands float to the heart center. Press into your feet, reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Take a side lean over to the right. And over to the left. Come back to the middle and allow your hands to start to find the floor. We'll come back into your child's pose. So your child's pose can be anything. Any place where it feels okay to pause your body. And then I want you to use that child's pose with your arms outstretched forward to pull yourself all the way onto your belly. So coming all the way to lay on your stomach. And you can make a pillow with the hands and just bring your forehead to that pillow. You can bend into your knees and find a little windshield wiper. Let your hips wrap. And then let your legs come to the floor. And prop yourself up onto your forearms. So your fingertips are pointing forward. Your elbows are about shoulder width apart. And your elbows can be underneath your shoulders. They can be a little forward of your shoulders, maybe even a little closer to your ribs. You find that sweet spot. If you go a little forward, it lessens the pressure in the lower back. If you come in a little bit more, it's going to deepen the pressure in the back. So just be mindful. And as you press the forearms and the elbows into the ground, and you can always add a little extra padding if the floor is a little hard, add that blanket underneath your arms. Allow the head to get heavy. So like we did at the very beginning when we were actively broadening through the chest and the collarbone, you're gonna do that same action here. Your arms are just in a different space, a different plane. And then allow the chin to drop to the chest. You can lift your head up, let your gaze come forward, and just start to bend into your right leg. So kicking your right heel to your butt. So think back to when we were standing. It's the same action, except now we're just on our belly. Flexing the foot can help activate through the muscles of the back leg more. Maybe you like the point, maybe you like somewhere in the middle, maybe you like moving in and out, or rolling the ankle even. Especially if you know you're gonna be on your feet a lot today, or you're just on your feet a lot in general. It'd be nice to kind of roll it out, let it snap, crackle, and pop a little bit. And you can stay right here, or maybe you kickstand the left forearm and reach your right hand towards the foot. Now it does not matter if your hand actually finds the foot. It might find your pants, it might just wave to your foot. That's a perfect place to be. And we're just gonna hold wherever you're at for 2 breaths. So if it's a wave, it's a little bit more activation, which is not a bad thing. Just one more. And then release the hand, release the foot. Let's come all the way back to our belly. So make that pillow with the hands. We'll come back into that Sphinx pose to meet the other side. So that Sphinx pose is on your forearms or elbows. Again, your elbows can be closer to your ribs or more forward or somewhere in the middle. And bend your left leg. Feel as if the top of the knee is trying to press towards the back of your mat. And then you have the option to kickstand the right arm and maybe reach the left hand towards the left foot. Your sides are totally different. Maybe you find the foot, maybe you wave, maybe you hold on to your pants. Just one more breath. We're not holding this for long. Gently release the arm, release the leg. Come all the way back to your belly. You can even bend your knees and windshield wiper the legs after that little bit of a back bend. So we'll stay on our belly for one more pose before we flip over. So you'll take your right knee over to the right side. So the inside of the right leg is on the floor, and it's kind of at that 90-degree angle. You can add a pillow underneath the knee for a little extra padding. You don't have to have your upper body lifted like me. I'm just doing it so you can hear me. But you can keep the whole body lowered down. If it's too much, you kind of feel like you're tugging the knee a little bit closer to the body, and you can even rotate onto that left hip a little bit more, so that way you're not going as deep into the inner thigh. So just kind of finding that place. If you need to back off a little bit, that's perfect. You can kind of just lean a little bit to the left, and that's going to help release that. Always bring yourself back to your breath. If you notice that it's getting challenging to breathe, that's kind of like a key to your body to back off a little bit. So maybe you don't bend the knee as much either. Kind of play around with where you can go. There's no right or wrong. Just one more breath here. Very mindfully, just allow that right leg to meet the left, just straightening the legs out. And you can shift right away into your second set. So the left knee comes out to the side. Know that you don't have to bend the knee as much. You can kind of press the knee away, hug the knee in a little bit, maybe even shift a little bit to your right. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. Last 2 rounds of breath on this side. And then allow the left leg to meet the right, come all the way back to your belly. And then nice and mindfully, you just lift yourself up into a tabletop position and move through a couple rounds of cat-cows. Let's just neutralize the spine here. Now we were in a little bit more of a back bendy position for a little bit, so it's okay if it's a little prickly. You're gonna rinse it out, I promise. And begin to make your way all the way onto your back. Whatever you need on the way there, however you need to get there. And when you first arrive, you can keep your feet planted on the floor. Invite a windshield wiper. Just kind of continuing to focus on that neutralization of the spine. And you can hug the knees into the chest, find that same motion of rocking. And allow the knees to drop over to the right side. So your hips might need to bump a little bit to the left. Think that you're trying to keep your spine in one line from your neck to your tailbone. If you want a little less of a twist, you can always walk your feet wide and then just let the knees drop over to the right. That's also a really juicy spinal twist. A little less in the spine, but really getting into those tight parts of all the muscles that are connected to our spine. And no matter where your twist is, allow it to come back to the middle. Take a pause. And then find the other side. Let the knees come all the way back to the middle. Hug your knees in tight and find that little rock. Maybe even take some circles with the knees. So just finding a little circular motion through the lower back. And if you're doing that circular motion, be sure to go the other way. And then begin to set yourself up for your final Shavasana. Allow the legs to fall out in front of you. Arms fall by your side. Letting your body completely and totally melt into the mat. And gratitude for your practice today. Adding whatever support you need underneath the knees. Shavasana. Starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Inviting small movements back in. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. And rocking your head from side to side. When you feel ready, starting to roll to one side, pausing there in a fetal position, just letting all of the weight lift up off of your spine. Using the strength of your arms, beginning to press yourself up, coming into a comfortable seat and keeping your focus inside. And letting your hands come to your heart center, gently bow your head. And taking a moment of gratitude for your practice today. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat, for your body, for your breath, and most importantly for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.